Hey cuties, what's up? We're back with some more reactions after dark, and we of course going to be watching the disturbing internet horrors of China, Volume 2, obviously by Question. I think we did the first one yesterday, right? So just figured I'd go ahead and do the second one again today. Trying to take a slight break from doing Stephanie stuff, just because again I've done too many Stephanie videos at this point. So what, more than half of reactions after dark are Stephanie videos, because I made a Stephanie only playlist, right, a while back. Right, a while back, in like, is it a week ago, like a week ago or so. It was like 100 and something episodes for that, while the rad playlist is 170 something. Maybe it's close to 180 now, but it's again more than half of my radical videos are Stephanie. So like, we need to start scooching in a little bit more variety and not just like every other day being Stephanie. So we're back with volume 2, just because I want to do rad stuff more daily. So we need something to do. And I was like, you know what, let's do more China horrors that I hopefully have not seen yet. Because I think, again, like a couple we saw yesterday, I already knew about. Maybe a couple, maybe it was just the one, but maybe a couple to a handful. But yeah, no, I don't know why I like paused on that for so long. No hater segment today, no radical break. No one's really been mean recently. Only a matter of time, or maybe never again, who knows. But yeah, we'll just get straight into it. I don't think I have anything else to say. It's still cold in Texas, but I don't think the lights are going to go off. Hopefully not. I think it's going to be fine. So yeah, just still hoping that power doesn't go out and we freeze to death. Question mark. Also, again, I love this sound. It's major because the analog horror, little ping that happens there. So I'm guessing this plays at the beginning of everything. We read all this out last time. It's just, viewer discretion advised. Yada yada yada, that kind of stuff. Kind of just covering his basis there with some things and whatnot. Also, I don't know if the song's copyrighted. Volume 1 didn't get a copyright strike, so I mean it wouldn't be a strike, copyright claim. So I'm guessing the song isn't hardcore claims. I guess he wouldn't be using it right if it was, but disclaimer as well. I'll read the disclaimer. This video is intended for educational and documentary purposes only, which again, I don't know why he does all like the fancy one before this, but then he goes ahead and does another one after. I guess because the other one is a bit hard to read. It does not promote, glorify, or show disrespect toward China, its people, or its culture. Did he have this in the first one? Maybe not. Maybe he got a bunch of people mad at him for the first one, but he's just talking about things that have happened. Like, hello? The events discussed are real cases that were widely reported and discussed online. They are presented only to document and analyze internet history. Disrespectful or prejudice comments directed at China or its people will not be tolerated. Okay. Maybe it's the other way around. People were talking bad about China and he's upset about it. I don't know. The Hangzhou poker cards.
Sometimes, the smallest detail can change everything. A crime scene can be brutal, ugly, horrifying. But when something strange and unexplained is left behind, it crosses into legend.
Is this what his voice sounded like last time?
And that's what happened in Hangzhou in 2013. A murder case that should have been straightforward became infamous online because of 3 simple objects.
Playing cards?
Playing cards.
Okay.
Cards that seem like a message from the dead or the killer. On the morning of March 15th, 2013, an elderly scavenger in Hangzhou was collecting scraps along the Century Avenue. He spotted a large cardboard box abandoned near Lingshu village. At first, it was nothing unusual, until he noticed blood seeping through the bottom. Frightened, he called over a street cleaner. Together, they pried it open. Inside was a human body. The police arrived quickly, and the body belonged to a young woman, badly scarred, and was confirmed dead for several days, sometime around March 10th.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna know this one. I haven't heard of this before. And you leaving playing cards like after a crime or something isn't anything new, but I don't know if that's like a MO or if it's just a happenstance they accidentally left cards behind.
And it was very clearly a homicide. She had been beaten, bound, and stuffed into the box. But investigators found something else. 3 playing cards inside with her body. The 5 of spades, the Jack of diamonds, and the King of spades.
Okay, well, does this mean anything? It doesn't seem like it as just like a first glance.
And the cards didn't match the brutality of the scene. They looked like they were placed there on purpose. Police checked local missing persons, and nothing matched.
Okay, saying they were placed there on purpose, so trying to use it as like an MO. But 5 Jack King?
So they released photos of the victim's clothing, her tattoos, and the 3 cards online. And that's when the case exploded across Chinese forums. Netizens dissected every clue. Some said, KJ5 meant help me. Others thought it was a license plate code. And some even speculated the letters matched the killer's initials. The cards turned a murder into a mystery that felt coded, symbolic, and almost cinematic. But for the detectives, the problem was simpler. They didn't know who she even was. But people online refused to let it go. People tracked down the shops that sold her clothing. Tattoo enthusiasts searched archives for the same design.
Are we saying they're her cards or his? Question mark. They're almost acting like they're hers, but would assume like he put them there, but I don't know.
And others compared her photo to the missing person notices. And while most of it led to nowhere, it kept the case alive in the public eye.
Oh yeah, I wanted to know if did we find the guy or what?
And finally, one tip changed everything. On April 10th, nearly a month later, a Hangzhou resident reported they have seen a woman before, living in the Lianming community in Yuhang. Police canvassed the neighborhood. A supermarket owner remembered something odd. A slightly overweight man, about 170 centimeters tall, buying 2 rolls of thick, transparent tape. The same kind of tape used to bind a body. And security cameras confirmed his identity. His name was He, and neighbors said the victim was his girlfriend. When police tracked him
Is he his actual name, or are we just using a alias?
down at a garment factory, he confessed. He and the victim, later identified as Ching, had been dating since December of 2012. But he was very jealous. He saw her chatting with another man online. He demanded her to stop, and when she refused, his anger boiled over. On March 10th, he snapped. He strangled her, taped her body, stuffed her into a box, and dumped it on the roadside. And when detectives pressed him on the cards, he said he had no idea. He says that in the struggle, he must have knocked over a drawer, and the cards must have fallen out and gotten mixed into the box. It's a very mundane explanation, but by the time he confessed, the internet had already transformed the cards into myth, turning a simple domestic killing into one of the eeriest modern cases in China. And in the end, the truth was ugly, a crime of jealousy, a woman's life taken by someone she trusted. And what's weird is, what people remember isn't just the crime, it's the cards. Because just 3 meaningless scraps of paper created a story that lived far longer than the case itself.
Can we send that's the end of the story there? Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that it was just nothing, right, at the end of the day. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are disappointed with that, or they're not going to take like that as an answer, and they're going to just go with their own ideas of what happened. So you can argue, well, I mean, this is not some sort of fantastical story to be romanticized. Is that how you would, like, is that a good way of putting it? You know, with the playing card, you know, someone died, question mark. Someone was killed, so trying to turn it into this like crazy romanticized thing of like, oh, the playing cards mean something, they gotta mean something. I don't care if like the killer says they don't mean something, they have to mean something, yada yada, whatever, right? It's like a bit like, oof, like chill out. But yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, I've never heard of this story with the playing cards before, the Hangzhou poker cards. The dream that found a body. That implies someone had a dream and then a body was found out of it. Is that actually going to be legit? This is a long story.
Dreams are supposed to be harmless, fleeting fragments of our subconscious. But what if a dream could lead police to a hidden corpse? 2008, in a small town in Jilin province. That's exactly what happened. A man went missing. His bloody shirt was found. And then his sister had a dream that told her exactly where to find his body.
Okay. Are we saying this is just some happenstance stuff, some supernatural stuff, or did she kill him? Question mark. Because if we're going with the fleeting things of your subconscious, like he was, whatever the heck he said at the beginning, what if she killed him and then erased that from her memories, so she didn't actually knew that she killed him, but it was still in her subconscious? You know, she just wanted to like pretend like it never happens, to the point where her brain actually erased it from her consciousness, but it was still in her subconscious. So it showed her where he was, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, I had a dream, and it said he was here, so let's go see." And he ended up being there. Question mark. I doubt it's going to be that, but it'd be interesting if, like, after just hearing just that, I'm like, "Yep, it's she killed him," and from the trauma of killing him, completely forgot that she did do it, but her subconscious didn't. And thus the dream happened.
Our story begins with Zhang Yongchen, a merchant who lived in Shanghai City. He was well-liked, a friendly man who bought and sold mountain products. And on June 11th, 2008, after helping his neighbor and business partner, Liu Xiaolin, organize goods, he left her house at around 10 p.m. wearing a camouflage jacket. He only had a 1-minute walk to reach his home, but he never made it back. Days passed, and no one saw him again. A week later, villagers discovered something strange. A camouflage shirt hid at the bottom of a firewood pile, and it was soaked in blood. Police confirmed it was Zhang Yongchen's. But strangely, there was a round hole in the chest. Not a cut, but something more brutal. And scattered around the fabric were stubbles of hair. Investigators knew immediately this wasn't an accident. This was a murder. As police combed the village, they noticed a mound of sand between Liu Xiaolin's house and Shang's. Flies buzzed aggressively over the surface. When officers dug beneath, they found dark stains, blood, seeping into the earth. Neighbors also report hearing loud noises near that sand pile on June 11th, the very night Zhang vanished. And clearly, something violent had happened here, but Zhang's body was nowhere to be found. And just as investigators were running out of ideas, Zhang's sister, Zhang Yan, approached the police. She said she had a dream, and in it, her brother spoke to her, describing exactly where he was buried. West, along the railway line, south of the tracks. The police didn't believe in supernatural clues, but to comfort the grieving sister, they sent a team to look. And what they found stunned everyone.
Yeah, it's interesting, like, who will or won't take that as, like, we'll go check it out. Or they're like, okay, we're not going to take this because, like, we're not dealing with the supernatural nonsense, or not even supernatural, just, like, they just take it as, like, straight nonsense. Like, we're not going to listen to you. How often do law enforcement, like, listen to someone spout out nonsense and then follow up with it anyways? Even in this case, like they said, just for ease of mind or whatever, just being nice, and then it actually turns out to help? Question mark. Like, how often does that actually happen? Though again, she may have very well been the one to have killed him.
In a patch of disturbed earth along the railway, buried nearly 2 meters deep, was the body of Zhang Yongchen. 13 stab wounds covered his torso, including one piercing his heart. He had been killed the very night he disappeared. But the revelation of the dream shook the case. Police even wondered if Zhang Yan herself was involved. I mean, after all, how could she have known the burial site so precisely? But at just 1.56 meters tall and frail, she couldn't have dug such a massive grave, let alone carry her brother's 100-kilogram body. And attention turned back to the villagers surrounding him. Soon, secrets began to spill. Zhang Yongchen had been romantically involved with Liu Xiaolin, his business partner. But Liu was already married to a railway worker named Gu Dehai. And before Zhang, Liu had another lover, a man named Han Zhigang. This wasn't just a murder, it was a tangled web of obsession and betrayal. At first, suspicion fell on Liu's husband, Gu Dehai.
I'm kind of confused there. Like, he has a wife, but he also has a Sancha, but the wife also has a Sancho. Is that what we're going with? Like, they both have lovers on top of being married to each other? Question mark.
As a railway worker, he knew the area very well and could have buried the body by the tracks. But the evidence didn't match, and Gudahai insisted that he had no motive, and even considered Zhang a friend. And then another figure emerged. Han Jigang, Lu's ex-lover, possessive, jealous, and furious that Lu had moved on to Zhang. And just after Zhang's
I'm so confused. Are we talking about a woman or a man who was killed?
body was discovered, Han conveniently vanished. And police pressed harder. They discovered that Han had borrowed a villager's wheelbarrow on the very night of the murder, claiming that he needed to move sand, and when the wheelbarrow returned, it had been scrubbed spotless. And after a running test, it revealed tiny traces of blood, Zhang Yongchen's blood. And then came the final piece. In Han's yard, hidden inside a plastic bag beneath a bathtub, police found 2 knives, still stained with Zhang's blood. And with nowhere left to run, Han Jigang confessed. On June 11th, 2008, Han confronted Zhang as he left Lu Xiaolin's house, and enraged, he attacked him with a knife. A violent struggle followed. Zhang fought back, tearing his shirt in the process, but in the end, he was stabbed 13 times and collapsed near the sandpile, and Han used the wheelbarrow to escort the body to the railway and then proceeded to bury him deep into the ground. It was pure jealousy, nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, I'm confused, but I think I was just confused because I think that we're talking about 2 guys together. I think is her brother, right? And this person who killed him is his husband? Question mark? I'm so confused with that comment earlier about him being in a relationship with someone else, but then his other, which I'm guessing is his husband, being with someone else as well. Like, this story, I'm just like so lost. I don't know how I got so lost in the weeds to not know what's going on, but all we need to know is that he was taken out in crime of passion by somebody.
But the case itself became infamous because one of the most haunting details of the case was a dream. Zhang's sister, whether by chance or intuition or something beyond explanation, pointed directly to his grave, and her brother was finally laid to rest. Most murders are solved by evidence, others by confession, but this one was somehow solved by a dream.
Yeah, that's the weird part about it. Can we go back to this, like, this part?
But Lu was already married to a railway worker.
Okay, go back.
Secrets began to spill. Zhang Yongchen had been romantically involved with Lu Xiaolin, his business partner.
Okay, he's romantically involved with his business partner. We're going to assume that's a man, too.
But Lu was already married to a railway worker named Gudahai.
And that's his husband.
And before Zhang, Lu had another lover, a man named Han Jigang.
I think before... No, here he's saying before his husband, he was with Han.
This wasn't just a murder. It was a tangled web of obsession and betrayal.
Okay, so that's what it was. Like, he's messing around with, like, another man, but he's already married with another man, but then his ex-husband, or ex-lover, is another guy. So who do we say killed it?
Han confronted Zhang as he left Lu Xiaolin's house.
And so, like, the ex did it. It wasn't even, like, his husband that he was cheating on. It was his ex that did it, which is crazy. Murder at a McDonald's.
In 2014, in Jiaoyan City, China, a McDonald's became the scene of one of the most disturbing crimes caught on surveillance. A murder carried out in front of families, children, and customers. All by a group who believed they were fighting evil spirits.
What?
It was the evening of May 28th. Wu Xiaoyan, 37 years old, a salesperson who worked at a nearby clothing store. After work, she was waiting at McDonald's for her family to arrive.
Why is her face so much more blurred out than the last guy? Because if you go down there, you see that you can, with how pixelation works, the smaller you make the image, the clearer it actually looks. So, if you can even, like, see that, me hovering over it, his face is pretty clear. You can almost see his face, even though it's pixelated. But over here, they use massive chunks for her face. I don't know if I can even gonna see it there. Yeah, you see her. They use massive chunks for her censoring, so you cannot see anything. It's just a void.
Around 9 p.m., a group of 6 people entered, a mix of adults and even one teenager. But they weren't there to order food. Instead, they started preaching to customers, telling them about their religious
This is actually CCTV from the event.
beliefs. But it didn't just stop there. They began demanding everyone's cell phone numbers.
Yeah, it looks like it
They
is.
needed them for future contact. And when Wu refused, not once, but twice, they turned on her. The group shouted that she was an evil spirit. And then, in front of the entire restaurant, they began attacking her. Chairs, mops, and their feet. The beating was merciless. And anyone who tried to intervene was threatened with the same fate.
Back.
And the CCTV cameras recorded everything.
But can you show this? Like, that was, you saw him swing, and I feel like you shouldn't even be showing him swinging. Whatever was happening there.
Customers backed away in fear as Wu was beaten to death in full public view. When police finally arrived, they arrested all 6 attackers. The Chinese government quickly reported that the killers were members of the Eastern Lightning Cult, also known as the Church of Almighty God. It's a controversial Christian-inspired sect founded in the 1990s, which has been long accused by the state of being a dangerous cult. Eastern Lightning, or the Church of Almighty God, is a Christian-inspired group founded in China in the 1990s. According to the group, Christ has returned, but in the form of a Chinese woman, and their followers must embrace her teachings. And the government labels this as an evil cult. And the thing is, this cult...
What was with that? Like, that whole section of him talking about the cult was kind of just like him going around in circles. I know, like, at one point, I think he might have, like, said the sentence and, like, thought he cut it out and put it back in, so he accidentally just said the same sentence twice. But then that extra part where he's, like, describing the cult, and then it kind of just ends with him just kind of going in circles again, that was weird. Like, fluff.
Isn't even new to controversy. Over the years, authorities have accused Eastern Lightning of forced conversations, financial exploitation, domestic abuse, and harassment.
I don't know if I know about this cult. Probably, but I haven't seen any of these pictures. I don't know if these videos. I don't know if the name is that familiar. I've heard about a lot of cults. You know, if you stay on the internet long enough, you'll see videos talking about cults, right? I don't know if I know about this one. I probably have.
In some rural areas, reports say they apply high-pressure tactics on families to join or donate. In the context of the McDonald's killing, the official narrative claims that the 6 attackers came from a dissident or extreme subgroup within Eastern Lightning. Maybe not fully under the church's central control, but their actions align with some of the more radical cult beliefs, rejecting...
I'm assuming they're just saying they're not, like, part of the main cult, just to save face and be like, hey, we didn't make them do this, wink. It wasn't us. They're not part of our main group, wink. So we hold no responsibility for what they did, wink.
Non-believers as evil spirits, demanding submission as in phone numbers or contact, and enforcing their doctrine violently. And the attackers were put on trial. The footage, the witnesses, and the confessions all made it impossible to deny what happened. 2 of the group, including the ringleaders, were sentenced to death and executed in 2015.
Oh.
The others received long prison sentences. And in the aftermath, the case became one of the most infamous cult crimes in modern China. It sparked raids, mass arrests, and a crackdown on the Church of Almighty God. The Xiaoyan McDonald's murder remains a disturbing reminder of how belief, warped into fanaticism, can erupt into violence in the most ordinary places. It's a case where surveillance didn't just capture an image, it captured an entire ideology, a belief system that blurred the line between faith and delusion. And it showed the world of how truly terrifying it is when a group convinces themselves that killing isn't murder, that it's salvation.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that some people can just walk into a place and just, like, beat someone to death, question mark. Well, I know all this stuff seems unfortunate. Nothing here has been kind of just like funny or goofy, right? It's all been unfortunate things happening to people. Though the thought of, like, is this place still open, or did they close it because of the murder? Question mark. Because it is something that I'm wondering about. Because then it's like, okay, well, are they abusing this now? Since I would expect a lot of people would be morbidly curious about going to this place. So you're kind of exploiting the death of this person. So it's like, do you close the place down? Do you keep it running at the the risk of being called out for exploiting someone's death? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Sister Hong. Okay, we know this one. I think this is a long freaking thing for Uncle Red or whatever his name is. Sister Hong, as they were using here. He has a lot of names. I think this is Uncle Red, right?
On the Chinese internet, scandals come and go, but few have ever reached the scale or the strangeness of Sister Hong. A figure who looked like a woman,
Yep.
who spoke like one, who lured in hundreds of...
And we know about Uncle Red here. He's Stephanie has done a video on him before. I think it was from Stephanie. This is on either way. We've watched a video on Sister Hong, Uncle Red here in the in the Rad video playlist somewhere.
of men. But behind the wig and the mask wasn't a sister at all. It was a man. A man who spent years recording, deceiving, and profiting off a secret empire, private videos. And the story is how one disguised figure fooled thousands, destroyed lives, and left behind a digital scar so disturbing, the Chinese press called it the viral event of the year. The story begins with an online profile. A woman caked in white makeup, thick red lipstick, sometimes even hiding behind a surgical mask. She called herself Sister Hong, and at first glance, nothing about her profile screamed danger. She was just another face on dating apps and chat groups. But Hong's appeal didn't lie in beauty. It laid in curiosity. Her look was unsettling, almost uncanny, and yet, men still messaged her. Many even agreed to meet. When they arrived, they found rules, strange ones. She didn't accept cash for her services. Instead, men were told to bring items, a watermelon, a basket of vegetables, sometimes even half-used cooking oil. And it wasn't random.
It's a normal guy. Normal looking guy showing up. Didn't Stephanie, if it was Stephanie, make a comment, or someone made a comment on how... What video was it that we were talking about? Because I feel like fun was being had, question mark, at the expense here, but like saying, Uncle Red's breath is so bad, which is why this guy is like turning away, question mark. Because it looks like that's it's happening there. I swear that was a comment. Because he looks away whenever he's talking.
By avoiding financial transactions, Sister Hong left no paper trail, no receipts, no bank transfers, and nothing to tie her encounters to the law. But the strangest rule of all was the lights. The men weren't allowed to switch them off. Whenever someone tried, Sister Hong would calmly get up and flick them back on. And they didn't know why, but she did, because every moment was actively being recorded.
I don't know if we've seen that far into it. I don't remember him hugging anybody.
Behind those bright lights, hidden cameras were installed around the apartment. Men came and went, unaware of their faces, their bodies, and their secrets were being preserved on hard drives. And for years, nothing leaked. Sister Hong operated quietly. Clips were distributed.
By the way, this guy does identify as a man, question mark. So, just pointing that out before anyone gets mad at me for calling him a guy. I'm pretty sure he does identify as a guy, despite dressing like a woman. Like, the woman is just for the videos. Like, it's just his, like, gig, his thing. He's a cross-dresser, question mark.
In closed groups, sometimes on Telegram, sometimes sold directly to paying subscribers. $20 a month for access. Private.
Yeah, like, this was the bad thing, though, is they don't know they're being recorded, and none of them knew they were being recorded, and all of a sudden, like, it just got out that, Uncle Red was selling these videos online to make a profit. So he was exploiting all these people coming in to have relations with him, and then filming it, and then selling it online.
Chats buzzing with new uploads. The demand was huge, and so were the numbers. By mid-2025, Hong had allegedly recorded encounters with well over 1,000 men. Some came back repeatedly, and one man was nicknamed Four Seasons Brother because he returned once per season. The entire operation was a hidden world, until one subscriber broke the silence. And one day, almost the entire archive was leaked. Hundreds of hours of uncensored footage, faces clearly visible, and within days, it spread across Chinese social media like a wildfire. The reaction was explosive. Suddenly, coworkers, friends, and even family members recognized him.
Again, I've never seen him hugging. I don't think he should have hugged. Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't remember him hugging anybody. But it's so weird that he is not getting off his phone. Like, why are you on your phone? Get off your phone.
Videos. Husbands were caught cheating. Boyfriends were exposed. And one TikToker with over 1 million followers was unmasked when viewers noticed his eyebrows matched perfectly with the man in the footage. Another was outed to his fiancée. Their engagement was instantly called off. And the fallout was completely merciless. Lives were ended overnight, and the internet wasn't forgiving. Some viewers mocked the victims. Others turned them into memes. And as their humiliation spread, so too did the legend of Sister Hong. By July 2025, the scandal wasn't just trending, it was everywhere. The hashtag top Chinese platforms. Memes spread internationally. People dressed up as Sister Hong, wearing wigs and masks, dancing in TikTok parodies. And even brands tried to cash in. And for many, it became a bizarre, collective joke. But for the men exposed, hundreds of them, it was no joke at all. Their privacy was completely gone, their reputations were ruined. And what made it worse was the revelation of who Sister Wong really was. Because Sister Hong was no woman. Beneath the wig and makeup was Zhao, a 38-year-old man from another province. And for years, he kept his disguise intact. The videos revealed subtle hints, stiff body language, strange movements, a voice that sometimes slipped. And the illusion cracked. Speculation ran wild. Was he actually this old? Was he hiding a disguise? Or was the disguise just a cover for something more sinister? And by now, rumors overshadowed reality. But police were about to settle the question. On July 6, 2025, Nanjing police announced the arrest. The suspect was confirmed, a 38-year-old man named Zhao. He was charged with secretly filming and distributing obscene content. But by then, the internet had already mythologized him as Red Uncle. Some swore he infected men with HIV, although police...
Yeah, again, that's why I kept calling him Uncle Red, because that was his other name.
...stressed the claims were exaggerated. And others clung to the viral number, 1,691 men. Officials suggested that the real count was far lower, but the damage was already done. And the...
Hold on. What happened there? I just paused real quick. Like, I saw something pop up. Oh, that's what it was. The VTuber model crashed. It looks like I saw like something down like on my taskbar or whatever. I was like, what is that? And I didn't notice that the VTuber's gone. So hold on, let me just boot that back up again. All right, I'm back.
Public image, Sister Hong had already become a monster of legend. But after the arrest, police actually revealed another disturbing possibility after the rumors spread. It came out that Sister Hong might have actually been HIV positive. And
Oof, so it wasn't just people making rumors, it actually was. I don't remember that being a thing in the Stephanie video about Uncle Red here.
If true, the consequences would be catastrophic. And for many, most people's life were completely ruined.
Like me, it was.
That many of these men never knew they were being recorded.
Yeah, I don't remember if that was a thing or not in the original video that we watched on it, this guy.
They had been lured in by deception, only to have their faces plastered across the internet for millions to gawk at. But as we all know, the internet moves fast, and within weeks, the memes slowed down. New scandals replaced Sister Hong in the trending feed. But for the victims, the consequences remained permanent. Their faces, once anonymous, are still floating online. And for some, the looming possibility of infection is a shadow they can't escape. And as for Zhao, the man who was behind the makeup, wigs, and mask, his story is still unfinished. He could spend the rest of his life behind bars, or even worse.
Could.
And in the end, the Sister Hong saga isn't just about deception or scandal. A reminder of how quickly the internet can transform tragedy into entertainment, and how, once it does, there's no way back.
Okay, so that's the end of that one. So I think even with Stephanie's video, we didn't know what was going to become of Uncle Red. I don't know if he was even arrested in that video yet. This video is only 3 months old, and he said he could spend the rest of his life in jail, which means we still don't have a verdict on what's going to happen to him. So even now, even at the end of 2025, because 3 months ago would have been 2025, still don't know what happened to him, question mark. Got arrested, but whether or not he's going to spend forever in jail, or who knows how many years, if any, we still don't know. The poisoned live stream. Is this one I know too? I mean, the last two are like well, this one's like incredibly common, but well, only common because we watched Stephanie video on it. But is this what I think it is? I don't know if I should look deep into there. We'll see if I know about this one, but I might know about this one because it has showed up in other compilation, like true crime or horror stuff online before, so I might know what this one is. Well, really,
Live streams are supposed to connect us. Their windows.
I was gonna say it's like really quiet there for a while, but I'm assuming this might be the one where the girl, is this like the really long one where the girl drank, I forget what she drank, but it was essentially poison live on camera because she was threatening to self-exit, and everyone in her chat was like, yeah, do it. But she had got on there to try to get like help, like have people like, no, don't do it. Like, and she wasn't expecting such an overwhelming wave of, you know, just do it, you know, self-exit. So she did end up going through with it. And then it immediately took effect then, and she ended stream, but then it was too late, right? By then she passes, but then you get the M. Night Shyamalan twist after that, where I think someone was trying to steal her corpse, question mark? A fan? Is this the same story, or am I mixing two stories up? I might be mixing two stories up, but I know there's another story where they actually tried to steal her corpse, but I think they did get it back, or they didn't let them take it to begin with. I don't know. It gets weird.
Into someone's life, meant for laughter, advice, and entertainment. But in China, in the fall of 2021, one broadcast didn't connect. It trapped. A live stream where viewers became participants, and tragedy unfolded in real time. Lu Xiaomiao Miaozhu,
Well,
a 23-year-old fashion influencer with over 600,000 followers on Douyin,
I feel like I have seen her face, so it probably is that.
China's version of TikTok. And to her audience, she was upbeat, smiling, playful. But off-screen, she was fighting severe depression. She had been hospitalized for more than 2 months earlier that year. And in her own words,
Yeah, I know
I'm
this.
here to be happy, but this is all for show. I hope everyone will be happy when they see my videos, and will see that I am happy too, but I cannot hold on anymore. Hours before her final stream, she posted a video calling it probably my last, and thanked her fans for their company. On October 14th, 2021, Lu went live. She held a bottle, mixed with pesticide, in a drink. Some viewers urged her to stop, but others did the exact opposite, egging her on with comments like, "Drink it quickly. There's no urine in the bottle. Do it if you're gonna do it."
Yeah, again, that's what I was saying. Like, people were actually just saying in chat to do it, which, again, if they didn't, she might still be here, question mark.
And she swallowed it on stream. And even as the chat scrolled, she herself called the ambulance after ending the broadcast.
Yeah, it was too late, though.
Doctors tried to save her, but it was already too late. Her family said the trolls in the chat pushed her over the edge. Others speculated it was connected to her breakup with an ex, but her relatives insisted that this wasn't the reason. One friend claimed that Lu did not intend to end her life, that it was an act that was staged to get her ex-boyfriend's attention. But once the comments encouraged her, she went through with it. The screenshots went viral. A young woman holding poison, while strangers type insults and dares. It's a perfect storm of vulnerability and cruelty. The audience's jeering turned her pain into entertainment. And after Lu's cremation in Shandong, her tragedy took an even darker turn. Her ashes were stolen.
Yep, that's what I was talking about.
A funeral home worker, a hearse driver, and a local undertaker formed what police later called a bone ash supply chain. They swapped her remains and tried to sell them into an underground practice still thriving in parts of China, which is called a ghost marriage. Ghost marriages date back to the Shang dynasty, and the belief is pretty simple, but very disturbing. An unmarried soul is restless. A young man, buried alone, can bring misfortune to his family. And to fix this, relatives arrange a marriage with the body, or even just the ashes of a young woman. A livestream, where strangers urged her on. A cremation, where her ashes were stolen for profit. In life and in death, Lu was consumed. And that's what makes her story one of the most darkest tragedies on the Chinese internet.
Is that how he's going to end it? I'm waiting for the question mark. Oh, no question mark. It's just going to be fancy little outro here. But that is going to be that. Yeah, again, this is another one I have already seen, just like Uncle Red. This poisoning one has probably been shown in a lot of these compilation videos like this. It's probably in like a Nick Crowley or a Lazy Masquerade video, or yeah, both of those guys, or maybe an Expo video, or all three of them have a video on this topic. So again, that's why I knew about it. There's something else I was going to say about it, but I don't remember. Probably just reiterating the fact that, and again, if the chat just kept their mouth shut, she probably would have been fine. Question mark. Right? Because like the friend said she was only doing this to make her ex or whatever jealous. Or not jealous, but get his attention. But then, of course, everyone in chat has to be evil? Question mark. And thus, someone self-exited? Question mark. So, yeah, just unfortunate. So this all actually horrible things this time around. Like, someone was killed again. Again. Okay, at least Sister Hong / Uncle Red isn't any murder. It's just what do you call this? Recording someone without the permission. I don't know what that's called off the top of my head, even though I should. It's just not coming to me right now. And then potentially the transmission of a disease on purpose? Question mark. If we're going to say it's on purpose, if he knows that he has it, then I think that's a crime. Definitely a crime. And of course, the whole voyeur thing as well. Selling these pictures against these people's will. These videos against these people's will. It's messed up. And then once again, another death. Question mark. Like, you can argue that, like, the least... I'm not saying like the least, even say like the most lighthearted thing here is the Uncle Red thing, which is saying a lot, seeing as the Uncle Red thing isn't really lighthearted at all. But compared to everything else where, you know, someone dies at the end, it is question mark. But yep, that is going to be it for today. I think we've already like said everything we had to say for all of these as well. I guess I like this more than just the green question mark at the end, since I guess it matches his intro. The like nice, I don't know, 80s and 90s China VHS analog horror thing got going on at the beginning and end. I'm assuming he does this for the other ones, right? Because he has distributing internet horrors of Japan, of Korea, I think, as well. So it isn't just China. He has other places as well. Yeah, we can go ahead and end now. So yeah, Kyuuties, thanks for watching. Remember to buy my stickers, by becoming a member, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, so we can watch time and subscribers, and don't forget we have a throw now as well. And a shout out to the members, EmmyStarr, RaleyDrew, and alexgkiller 880. Yeah, Kyuuties, thanks for watching. Tune into the next episode. Like, subscribe, comment. Do the do. See ya.